participate and engage. Any of you who don't know me, then I can keep it brief. If you already know me, we can move to the real stuff.
I don't know you. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's good enough. It's fine. It's not a popularity test. It's just that, I don't want to repeat the boring stuff that people already know. So I can share quickly. So I am Selva, based in Whitefield, Bangalore. After being in the HR space for over 22 odd years, and being a former CHRO of McKinsey, I jumped in to say that what is it that I want to do in life, and I run my own venture called Flourish, ends with a she. I worked purely for women who are returning to work, who are excelling in careers, who want to become leaders, who want to become assertive, who really want to have a ball of time working, thriving at work, and not really struggling to survive. So I work with them very closely through one-on-one to really help women thrive at work. That's about me. Um, Today, we are looking at a very important topic, how to get the well-deserved recognition at work. So we are going to engage very actively. If you can grab a pen and paper handy, it will be wonderful because there will be some kind of reflections throughout the sessions. If you're okay to do digitally, that's fine too, but just that it
Competitive numbers ಇರಬೇಕು
Could I request others to please mute their
is there a way to mute everyone except the
Yes.
speaker, Vasvi?
Vasvi can do that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Silva.
No problem. Yeah. So, some paper and pen writing. So this workshop, we are going to go until 4:30. And if there are people willing to talk and want some support specifically in their own context, I'm happy to stay back for a few more minutes. It's going to be fully engaging, interactive sessions. We will have some hands-on exercises to do as well. And this is a safe space. Therefore, I'd encourage you to take in the comfort and bring in your own real life scenario and look for this workshop to solve some of your challenges that you've not been able to do otherwise. Yeah. So let me share my screen. Is that visible?
Yes, you are.
I can see it.
Okay. Let me do full screen. Give me a second. Yeah, it's already full screen, right? Yeah, okay, great. So welcome to the session again. That's my LinkedIn QR code. If any of you want to scan, stay connected, follow my posts, engage with me, work with me, get my support, all that is welcome. So feel free to get in touch with me. This is my Flourish podcast meant for women at work. We have now 600 plus subscribers with some 16 episodes specifically looking at addressing challenges of women they encounter at work. We also got in a beautiful set of expert speakers. I'd urge you to listen in, share widely with women friends who may really find useful of this podcast. So again, some QR codes for it's anyway streaming on all channels, but feel free to scan in and jump in. Otherwise, you can look for Flourish, ending with a she on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Google, anywhere. You should be able to find that podcast. Okay, let's start. So perhaps we can start with some bit of maybe a quick check-in on what is it that people are really wanting to learn from this session, apart from what the title already said. Any quick sharing on what is it that you'd like to takeaway from the session, either on the chat or share, unmute and share yourself.
Maybe I can add.
Yeah.
Basically, when I saw this statement, I thought maybe there are some tips and tricks which are not, which I haven't used so far and might help me in my in achieving this. Yeah.
Okay. Others?
Yeah, I wanted to actually see, I think appreciation comes with presenting your work well. So I thought in the process, I would also learn different ways in which, the work can be showcased in the right forums, how to make those choices and how to influence the right set of folks to earn that appreciation.
Got it. Thank you, Khushbu.
I feel that women for some reason are conditioned to be modest. So when it comes to recognition, we shy away, say, it's nothing, not that big a deal. But I think it's about getting it also and about owning it also with pride, with as much as it deserves.
Yeah, it's a great point. There's a lot of cultural teacher sitting in our head. Any others?
How to accept when the appreciation is really coming in graciously.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I'd like you to guys also to share where are you currently? Yeah. If you were to rate yourself at work, to yourself and on the chat from 1 to 10, 1 being not recognized at all to 10 being fully recognized, 100% recognized. Where would you be? Can I see some chat numbers? Where are you right now? Where do you feel you are right now? Are you on 10, 1? I'm not able to see any chats. Are they coming in?
Yeah. So I can just post it here for you. We have on an average like 6 to 7.
Oh yeah, I can see now. Yeah, my God, that's
Yeah.
lovely. We have 9 being really, that I'm supposing that you read the scaling right, that you're really well recognized. 8, 6 to 7. Yeah. There's 1 person at 1. Okay. Any more? Okay. Next question. How easy is it for you to ask for recognition? 1 being extremely easy. It's a cakewalk. To 10 being impossible. Just impossible. I'll never do it. Where are you in the scaling?
Can you expand on that question, Selva? What does it mean to ask for recognition?
No, I'm in a meeting. So the question is how easy it is for you to ask for recognition at work with your manager, with the senior folks. Easy is it for you?
So is it more like, what is the feedback? Hey, I've done task A.
What is your level of ease and comfort? If it's really easy, 1. If it's extremely difficult, 10. Any number between that. Let's see some numbers.
Selva, to add to that, right? I'm not sure. I won't ask for the recognition probably because I believe that my work should speak. Probably I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's also got it. It's not about the difficulty level. It's about the willingness then. So maybe we can even ask, huh? So maybe then that's an interesting question. Maybe we can crack with this. Have you seen answers already? Just checking whether I'm seeing the right chat numbers. How easy? Let's answer the first question. How easy it is for us to ask? Have we had that?
Yeah, we have had an 8. We have had a 5. Like, let's say 5 is an average answer. like with some people giving a 7 or an 8, but 5 is the
So
average
now I
answer.
see the numbers coming down a little, right? There are some 5, but still Niveta feels 8, okay? Sandhya says 5, okay. Any more response before we move into how willing are you to ask for it? Okay, let's take a poll and see how willing. One being absolutely not willing, it's against my ethos. 10 is I'll go all out. Nothing stopping me. Rain or shine, I will do it. So let's see what numbers do we have here. Okay, we got a 6, 8. Okay, 8. You can even mark it negative. I mean, Priyanka, feel free to get creative. Whatever you feel is the right way to express your. Okay. You said 8. 10 being I'll do it all out.
So your
Right?
question was to how
How willing are you? 1 is unwillingness, 10 is extremely willing.
Okay, okay. So then I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Great. Last question. This could be sharing. I know something that already came up. What beliefs do you hold about yourself, about asking for recognition? Is the question clear? What do you believe about yourself when it comes to asking? Priyanka mentioned that she would not ask. Can you elaborate, Priyanka?
As I said, right, I believe that my work should speak rather than, asking people that you should recognize me for this work. So, for instance, something I have done to improve something, I'm a developer. So, then my team lead or my manager should appreciate me. Probably it's my assumption, but normally they do. In a
Yeah.
good team,
So
team setup.
so the belief then here is my work should speak for myself.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And what other beliefs do we have in the room?
I feel that I was thinking about it actually. I feel about it more like it's my right.
So if you were
But
to frame it in a belief sentence,
I
I believe
believe that it is my right to ask for the recognition that I want. But then more than wanting recognition, it is about not going unnoticed.
Yeah.
That is the motivation for the right.
Yeah, sure. It's a very divergent view, right? Very divergent
Yeah.
belief. That it is very much my core right to make sure that I don't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
It's my right that others recognize you, to see me for who I am. Wonderful. Great start, I must say. Extreme ends of the poll. Any other views? Any other beliefs that you'd like to
Sorry
share?
to interrupt, Selva. So I think we have new people joined in, like Sheetal and Priyanka. Hi, Sheetal. Hi, Priyanka. Just to give a heads up of what we have been talking about. So we are discussing on how do we rate ourselves about our willingness to ask for the recognition, or how comfortable are we in asking the recognition for the work that we have done so far. So we've been discussing on that so far, and we've got different views on that. If you would like to add, you can add to it, or else we can move on.
Cool. Any other views before I play a video? Okay, let me play this video. There are 2 videos, very short ones. Let's see what you guys say after that.
One of the...
Is it audible?
Yes.
It is.
Okay.
Very simple but important distinctions that I've found is I think sometimes at work we get a little confused between recognition and appreciation. They're related, but they're not exactly the same. Recognition is actually positive feedback based on results, based on performance. It's about what we do. Appreciation is more about recognizing people's value. It's about who we are. So the best way I know to describe the difference between these two is I'll give you an example from my background, from my...
So that's about that. So just to bring it back to the context here is that we are talking very specifically about recognition in this workshop. But if you'd like to explore what appreciation means for you, and if you are seeking that, you're very much welcome as well. And feel free to engage and see how this workshop benefits you. But I'll be very curious to see how this really benefits you. But our idea for this workshop is that many women struggle to really firstly acknowledge their own contributions and then let alone ask for recognition. Recognition could mean a salary hike, a name in the community, a promotion, a goodwill. It has many forms of it, but it's a definitive public acknowledgement about the work that you're doing. It's not a one-on-one feel-good factor. That's not what we're talking about. Yeah, it's about a definitive step, a definitive bold identity, a change in identity that because of the work that you do. Yeah, just wanted to contextualize that. Now let's go to Lean in video. Let's see what they talk about recognition. Is it audible and visible?
No, it's not audible.
Okay, it's not. Okay. Let me share again. Should be now. Yeah. Is it audible and visible now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Have you ever felt like the women in your workplace have to go to great lengths just to prove themselves, while people just assume that men are smart and capable? Maybe you've noticed that men get more positive feedback or even get promoted faster. Maybe you've had a colleague question your judgment about a topic you know well.
I have had situations where I was questioned about my competence or judgment at work.
I actually can't remember a time when this didn't happen in my life.
I've been mansplained to. I've had people question whether I know the meaning of words. I've even had people assume I can't do basic functions of my job.
It had happened so many times in my career that I come to expect people to doubt my abilities.
If these experiences sound familiar, it's not just you. It probably has a lot to do with performance bias. What is performance bias? It's rooted in the deep-seated belief that women are less capable at work and less suited to leadership than men. To be clear, there is no evidence to support this idea, but it's so ingrained in our culture that it impacts our experiences at work every day. Performance bias has a very real impact on women's careers. We're more likely to be overlooked in hiring and promotion decisions. For example, research in the US and Europe suggests that women are up to 30% less likely than men to be hired, even when a man and a woman have the exact same resume. For some women, performance bias can be even more extreme. In white-dominated countries like the US, for example, women of color are much more likely than white women to have their skills called into question. This tends to happen to ethnic minorities in many countries, and all around the world, women with disabilities are doubted and undermined more than almost any other group. This entire narrative about women's and men's abilities needs to change. But there are a few things you can do right now to reduce the impact of performance bias on your career without having to work twice as hard. First of all, if you doubt your own abilities, start challenging that. Find ways to remind yourself of your skills. Compile a list of your achievements and review it regularly.
I'll pause it right there because it's available on YouTube and we can definitely share the link post this workshop. If time permits, I don't mind sharing it here again. But I want to get a quick check-in to see, do you believe this is true in your context? What's your reflection based on what you just heard?
It is true. For men, it comes a little more easily. So before working for ITC, I was working for a IT organization as an HR, and there during recruitment also I saw women with much better profile would ask for lesser increase in their from their current package than men. And for men, it just came so easily to demand that than women. That is happening because they themselves are undermining their abilities. They themselves are restricting how much they can or should get. That is one thing. And second is they're not having that courage to ask. it's what's there in asking, right? You can always ask and then you can negotiate and come down a little bit lesser, but that doesn't happen. So that's why when I started, I said we are conditioned to be certain way. So the conditioning is both internal and external, and there are a lot of biases outside. That's definitely there.
Thank you for sharing. Now, sometimes I feel in my observation of working and seeing thousands of careers flourish and move, right, is that I don't know if there is any gender thing to it, but I definitely have seen many women on being two sides of the extreme. One is that, oh, I will demand, 6 months, 1 year, I'll demand what is the salary. I'll keep asking for it because I think that's the only way to get it. It's like saying that the crying baby gets the milk, right? So I will ask because nobody will wait for my goodwill. They'll come and recognize. I work in a very large organization. It's very hard to get noticed like that. So I'll keep talking about it, keep making noise till it happens. To the point, even if others have a slightly negative vibe about it, so be it, because I have to take care of my growth. That kind of, that's one part of it. The other part, women who don't even want to talk about it. They feel it's almost like unfair, unneeded, kind of being on the spot, even asking for it is slightly, what could I say, below their self-respect. Oh my God, I had to ask for it. I mean, I should have done such a credible job that even a blind person should have just given it all in my hand, right? I mean, I am deserving of it. If they don't see it, my bad, but I can't really go against my values of putting myself out there. It's really not nice. No? Those are the two pieces that I've seen. Have you seen any other variety? I only see Pradeep and Deepa and Priya. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've noticed the other variety, I'm a part of that variety for for quite a long time, where we ask, but then we take, whatever is fed into us on why we shouldn't be getting it, or why we shouldn't be let out, and we should not even aim that high because other things are more important in your life. So the other variety is who will probably make the ask, but will be put down at the slightest of consolation that we get. So yeah.
So ask for the sake of asking, I tried it. And then very quickly get convinced that fine, it's not happening. Let me move ahead,
I have complete trust that, the person, typically your manager, is completely in your favor and, is fighting for it for you. So I have been fortunate enough to have somebody on my side who has actually fought for me. And that's the feedback I've heard from others in the team. But, I think 1 of the 10 that I've worked with has done that, right? So it isn't all.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that both sides, right? Both sides of asking for the sake of asking as the only main objective or a strategy versus not asking at all, because that is the main strategy, right? Saying that no matter what, I will not fuss about this. Both are not helpful in your career. There has to be some mid-ground where you are able to bring your assertive self, put facts on the table, have an adult-to-adult conversation, a professional conversation about it, understand the boundaries of it, know when to let go, know when to push, know your worth, right? So that's a more healthy proposition to have than to be either on the extreme sides of it. Obviously, individual contexts differ, but you are the best judge. When is the right time to push? When is the right time to not push in? So in this workshop, we thought it might be useful for you that if you're really figuring out how do I really do this tightrope balance of figuring out when to push, when not to push, how to even push, should I even push? You may be having myriad of questions. We thought we could sort of untangle that for you, give you some step-by-step guide on if at all you choose to ask. And if you don't ask, you better have a good reason for it. Either ways. But at least when you are ready to ask for it, you have some ability to ask for it. Is that a good scope to have for this workshop, or would you like to talk something else? I'm happy to also look into what else may be pressing for you that we can cater in this workshop. Is that
Selva,
okay?
just yeah,
Yeah,
just
go
to
ahead.
add, I mean,
Sure.
where I feel challenging is normally I had some conversations in my career with my managers where I have asked before, but I feel more comfortable where there is a two-way communication happening, and I can see
Yeah.
in person that that my manager is understanding and he's giving good feedback and good vibe about it. Where I'm not feel comfortable is when I'm not getting that vibe, and then probably I feel lost and I leave there that conversation. So I think that is challenging for me, how to keep on pressing.
Yeah. Persevere, right? How to persevere even when there is not enough positive vibes your way coming.
Right.
Okay.
And maybe a quick little something, I'm not sure if it's already covered, but typically such conversations tend to sway away from the topic. People tend to bring in general opinions and general work related discussions, and keep it on the tide, and navigate it back to this conversation, which is probably an uncomfortable space, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, also help.
Yeah, sure. Staying true to the conversation about the recognition more than anything else. I also see Sheetal saying that handling difficult conversation on performance, that's a good topic, but it's a very large topic in hand, and maybe it has slightly outside of the scope, Sheetal, but maybe there will be some takeaways for you with this conversation for performance as well. I want to get a sense of how willing are you now willing to learn the tactics or strategies for asking recognition? Because I have a feeling that we haven't probably fully uncovered the energy and inertia needed to even ask for it. How many do you think today in this room, if I may ask you just a hand up, how many are keen to learn the strategies to ask versus let's close there. Okay, a few hands. Many are offline Okay. Okay. There is some level of acceptance. Let's go with it and see what happens. I'd like you to take a paper and pen in hand right now. We're going to go into a silent activity, for a couple of minutes, and then we'll come back and share. It's a small group, so I don't want to break it into small breakout rooms and do this. But if that is needed, we can do that as well. Yeah. Are we all ready? Yeah. I'd like you to, number one, right? I'd like you to think of your achievements in the last 1 year. All the achievements that at work in the last 1 year, and list them down. List the achievements that you have done in the last 1 year. We'll give it another minute and then we'll move to the next question. Once you're done, please give me a thumbs up so I know that most of the group is done, like we can move. Mind you, this is a long list, not one or two. Whatever comes to your mind as a achievement. Okay. Yeah, if you're continuing to write, please do that. Make sure that the longest list is not just 1 or 2 items, whatever that you're able to remember as your compelling achievements this year, you're going to write that down. And then review the list for yourself to see which is that one most impactful achievement that you crave recognition for. Pick 1 or maximum 2 achievements from the list that you feel you deserve to get more recognition. A minute there because it's just picking the priority number 1 or 2. Before moving on to the next list of reflections, can we have any quick sharing? Share your priority list, the number 1 or the list.
Yeah,
go ahead, Khushbu.
Yeah. So one of the achievements, so I had recently shifted teams. And after getting into the new team, I was given a chunk of responsibility. And I think I executed beyond my own expectations on that. I set a very solid base for the project in the foundation 6 months. And, then actually my manager swept in and took the project to the finale, right? And how he put it was, I think most of the work was done in the last 6 months. Okay. And he completely gave sway to all the base work I had done to set the foundation for the project. So I think that was a very important work, critical work, pathfinding work that I had done, but I did not get any recognition for it. And I was not even able to sell it to my manager that, when he was saying it, I was newly in his team. He's an experienced person. He is not much of a listener. He's quite set in his opinions. So I had a bunch of things about him and I didn't open my mouth about it, or I tried to sell it, but not good enough. So that whenever we met next, he kept saying that, most of the work happened in the last 6 months when he was leading the project versus me when I was setting the foundation in the first 6. So I think that's one that I want to sort of.
So may I just ask a quick follow-up? Is it still in your hands to go and ask for it? Because if it's too much in the past,
no, it was it is very much, it's the final project that we just finished. So yeah, we're very much there.
Fantastic. Then great start. Who else would you like to share? Just a couple of more so we get a color and vibe of what is it that we're really looking at, and then we can move to the next one.
Maybe I can share. I meant
sorry, I think could you just put up your hands, then it's easier for me to go around the table. Pradeepa, I heard her first. Shall we go with her and then I can come to you once you put your hand. Yes, Pradeepa, thank you.
All right. Yeah, so when I joined, I recently switched jobs. When I say recently, like, a year back, Selva. And I'm a manager, right? I initially took up basically a team of 12 members. And 3 months into my job, my peer, right, like another engineering manager in the same org, basically left the organization. And she was managing basically 3 to 4 members. It's a small knit team, but the impact the team was making was huge. And the portfolio that they were managing was huge. So I saw this opportunity and I pitched into my manager saying that I know you're looking for basically a person to fill in. I don't think he will get basically another person immediately just like that, because I'm also in the same boat. I know how things work. So I said, okay, I'll pitch in. I'll help you out here. I'll try to manage basically both the teams, right? Then I ended up managing basically close to 16, 17 members 3 months into my job. Right. So everything sort of like, became twice the load. When the review rating discussion happened, he did mention like a lot of other things that I did, but this never came up. Even maybe that was why, I got a good rating or not. I'm not really sure, but this specific proactiveness was not highlighted or appreciated. Hey, Pradeepa, you stepped in, right? You didn't know anything about the team, but you stepped in, you helped in, you managed to run the team and made it successful. So that specific recognition did not happen, Selva.
Thank you for sharing. Is it still in your hands to go ask for that appreciation or recognition, or is it a gone thing now?
I want to ask, now that you are asking about it, I want to ask his opinion. What did he think about it? Even though it is in the past, I still work with the same manager.
Okay, so it's a relevant one for us to work on workshop, right? I just want to make sure that we're not sulking in the past and then, taking a theoretical issue. It may be real, but if you're not going to address it, it's not going to serve you much now. Yeah, so it's better to get one piece that you really worked hard for it, feel that the recognition is there is a delta there, and you want to do something about it. And that's when the workshop becomes useful for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see how this goes, Pradeep. I'm rooting for you. Let's see. Hemlata, over to you.
Yeah. For me, actually, there was an assignment which was given to me. I had to travel for 3 months away to an international travel to move the job responsibilities from Germany to India. And before going there, I had a conversation with my higher up and his higher up, both of them. And they both agreed, okay, if you are successful in moving this project to India, you will get the, level up. But after I came back, yes, I was successful. We got the job to India. But after I came back and when we were having the actual year-end conversation, the whole story was changed. It's like, it's not because of a skills or capacity we bought it. It was just a movement of high cost location to low cost location. It was a business impact. Not really, I mean, it's like all your skills, experience, nothing mattered. It was just a business decision and it happened. If you or somebody else would have also done it. That's how it was discussed at later point.
That's a hard one, huh?
But
yeah.
How
did you take it?
It was quite harsh. I felt like I should get out of here and I'm already in search of jobs.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't feel nice. So would you like to still pick this up for today's workshop?
Yes, because even though I don't stay there, I want to give a strong message that it's okay. They would have told me, okay, it's a business decision, go ahead and do it. But telling me that you have experience, you have the right talent, get it done, and then later changing was quite backstabbing for me. And I really want them to know this is not right.
Yeah. Cool. I know Archana and Priyanka, you just put your hands up. I just feel like we might run out of time, but we'll come back to you, Archana. Maybe the next phase we'll take you, Archana and Priyanka, and then we'll move ahead. Yeah. So the next part of the exercise is, now that you've identified which is that work that you really want to ask recognition for, you've got to do several things for it. Yeah. Let's work through that one by one. Yeah. I'm going to read this from the Lean-In document itself, so it's easier for you to do it. You're going to do writing work or some sort of a stock-taking work, right? Number one, answer the following questions, right? Number one, how did the achievement, the one that you've highlighted as your area of focus today, impacts your organization and furthers its mission at a big level? Think and write a couple of points about how did this achievement impact not just your role, not just your small team? Does it have any impact to the larger organization's goals and their vision that they have? If so, explain how for your own self. Do that now for 30-40 seconds.
Can you please repeat the question or post it in the chat?
Yeah. How did the achievement impact your organization and advance its mission? Let me put that in the chat as well. Some 3-4 bullet points. Yeah. You can continue to write that. The next question that you will answer in the same line, right? Which other team members can you praise for their contributions in this piece of work? It's a little contrary to what we're discussing, because we're right now looking at your own achievements now to ask for recognition. But bear with me and see if there are any other names that comes up for you who you can praise for their contribution within this context of your work. Now, after this, you're going to write down some notes of how would you communicate this to your manager. Yeah, just some points on what will you say, what words you will say, what numbers you will put, what perspectives will you write, how will you bring it, how will you pitch this to your manager. We'll close all these activities by another minute, and then we'll watch a video, and then we'll come back and reflect. Sure. Let me repeat the task for Surya. Surya, number 1 is identify all the list of achievements that you've done in the last 1 year. Number 2, pick one achievement that you feel you deserve better recognition, that you want to ask for it, that it is important for you to get the recognition. Choose that. And once you do that, then write about how did the achievement impact your organization at large. Talk about the big impact story of your work. And then look at, are there any other names that you want to look who actually either helped you or who actually pushed the whole project further, who would like to praise along for their contribution. And then lastly, write some notes about how will you communicate this overall story to your manager or whoever concerned that you are asking the recognition from. I hope that's clear, Surya. Now let's go and watch the video and see if any of this relates to you. Yeah, because I'm purposely playing it late.
Or ask a mentor or a friend to coach you on your few things you can do right now to reduce the impact of performance bias on your career without having to work twice as hard. First of all, if you doubt your own abilities, start challenging that. Find ways to remind yourself of your skills. Compile a list of your achievements and review it regularly. Or ask a mentor or a friend to coach you on your strengths.
When I became a state commissioner with the California State Senate, I was intimidated by the roster of people that were going to be there at the state capitol. So I called one of my mentors and he said to me, Anna, you know more than you think and they know less than you think.
Knowing your own value will help you project authentic confidence, which can help convince others of your abilities. Reminding yourself of your achievements can also prepare you to respond in the moment when someone questions your competence. Make a list of key accomplishments that you'd want skeptical colleagues to know about. Practice saying them out loud in a clear, confident voice. You could say, strategic planning was a major focus of my MBA, or I've had a lot of success with this management approach in my last role.
When colleagues question my abilities, I now come with evidence that proves that I can do whatever it is they're doubting me about. One time I really wanted a high profile project and I knew I could do it and I was really excited about it. And I went to my manager and I told him that I wanted this project. And he said, I'm not so sure that you're ready. But because I had my policy of always coming with evidence, I came with all of these past projects that I had done that had amazing results that were very relevant. So he couldn't really argue with me.
I find one of the best ways to get people to acknowledge my expertise is to make sure that I consistently show it. And so I'll cite third-party research or cite data when that's relevant, and I'll use technical terminology so that no one listening to me can possibly doubt that I really know my stuff.
Asking specific follow-up questions is another good way to respond in the moment when someone questions your competence. For example, you could say something like, "Can you tell me more about why you don't think I'm ready for a promotion?" This can help the person recognize their assumptions might be wrong. And if they don't have accurate information about your abilities, it can create an opportunity for you to correct them.
When I actually got to my mid-year review, my boss kind of caught me by surprise and said that he didn't really feel like I had delivered any value. I kind of took a step back and I said, well, do you have any specific information? Like, do you have specifics around what it is that I have not delivered? And he really didn't have anything specific. And so I used that as an opportunity to basically walk him through my work and explain kind of what I have been doing and the value that each project brought to the company.
You can also take proactive steps to make it more likely your work will be recognized. Start by aligning with your manager on what strong performance looks like in your role. This is a best practice for all employees. But because of performance bias, it's especially critical for women.
I was very intentional about putting it on the mind of my manager that, I would like to go for the next step in my career. And before my performance review conversation, I drafted an email and sent it to my manager and really advocated for myself.
Find out which of your projects and work streams are most important from your manager's perspective. Ask for specifics on what you need to do to meet expectations and to get to the next level, and put those requirements in writing. Once you've aligned on your goals, make sure you talk to your manager about your performance on a regular basis. Try to check in at least once a week, either in person or over email. Request actionable feedback by asking questions like, what would you have liked me to do differently in our last client meeting? This shows you're committed to improving, and it can help to get any misconceptions about your performance out in the open.
I keep a track of what I have accomplished, what were some roadblocks, and these are the kind of things I would always bring back to my manager in a month or in reviews.
Make sure your other colleagues are aware of what you're working on too. Look for opportunities to highlight the impact of your work. Present your metrics in a company meeting, share positive feedback from clients, or send out an email celebrating your team's recent accomplishments. If you can get your colleagues excited about your work, they'll be much more likely to see you as a top performer.
I always document as soon as something is finished, and I will write congratulations to us team kind of an email every time. Even if we did a Christmas party, I will write it and I will include everybody and name everybody involved. These kind of smallish things help me also think that, I already wrote 3 of these emails this week, so stuff is happening.
Finally, build relationships with colleagues who can advocate for you. Get to know people across levels and teams. Show interest in what they're working on, offer ideas and support, and ask for advice. Make a point of connecting with senior employees, both men and women, who can promote your talents. And talk to your peers about how you can all amplify each other's accomplishments. By building these connections, you increase the chance that someone will speak up on your behalf when you're not in the room.
Okay, we are back. How was that video for you guys? Was there any adjustment that you had to make? Was there any usefulness for you? with respect to what you're already writing about your achievement?
Yes, there were few tips which were new. Maybe we can put it into practice.
Okay. Okay, great. We have some time, maybe for one role play. If anybody wants to put up their hand, volunteer to talk about what they have written so far in the workshop, and if they'd like to have a role play of how they would really communicate their achievement and ask for recognition. There is space for that. If anyone wants to use the opportunity to practice.
What is the role play about, Selva?
One is you give context to the team here and what is this that you're really, what achievement you're looking to ask for recognition for with your manager, whoever senior that is. And then actually engage in that conversation that there will be a manager role played by some one of us here, and you will put your point across. So this will be an opportunity to practice what you put down on the paper. Is that clear?
So we need two of us, right?
Yeah. You can just figure out whether you're ready. We'll figure out where the other person is.
Yeah, I could do one portion, but while I'm trying to manage some other stuff at home.
Okay.
While
Then it
listening
may
to
not
I can
work
do.
because I think we need somebody who can come on video, who can
Okay.
others
No,
can
no, then no.
yeah.
Yeah, so I can come in.
Okay, great. So what we can do is that if I could request everybody to go off video, I can be that person who can play the other role for you, Richa. And then we'll watch, the team will watch each other for 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and do debriefing. Is that okay? Richa, are you comfortable coming on video?
Yeah, Selva, just give me a moment, huh? Just once.
Sure. In the meanwhile, for notes for others is that note down what she says, how she says, the content of it, and see what you can pick up for your own story about that. And then when we come back, you can share what have you really adjusted and what's the final version of your script looks like. Richa, are you ready? Richa, are you there?
Yes, and
okay. Will we get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, for the rest of us, you can say hi, non-video participants. So you'll only see me for now until Richa joins.
And Selva, can you just give me a debrief of what is required of me?
Yeah, sure. Once your video is on, we can debrief you.
Yeah.
Hi, Richa.
Hi.
Congratulations on grabbing this opportunity. We're hoping that it is going to be very useful for you. Have you been able to do these answer these questions that we've done in the workshop so far?
No, I have joined in late. If you can just give me a debrief, I can pick it up. But
oh no, then I don't know if it'll be too much pressure for you. It may
no,
be too much
don't worry.
pressure.
Just give it to me. I'll be able to do it.
Okay. So we are looking at practicing communicating with your manager for one of the big achievements that you've done
Okay.
and you feel you deserve better recognition from him or her.
Okay. Sure. So I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So are you ready?
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing most of the talking. Yeah, I'm the manager listening in.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, you have something that you delivered, but you've not gotten the recognition for.
Okay. Got it.
Go
So
for
this
it.
is our team meeting. This is like a meeting happening. Like,
No, yeah. Anyway, you called in for a meeting. You called me for a meeting to discuss this, and then we're going to practice only for 5 minutes. It's just to help all of us to understand how to really apply all this in real life. Like, there's one thing to make notes. There's another thing to deliver, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Got it. Yeah. Hi, Selva. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, Richa. I'm busy. I just came in because you asked me to come in for a quick chat. What is it?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Selva. I truly appreciate you taking out this time. I know it was a little last minute, but I really thought of quickly catching up with you. So, as you know, in the HR department, what is happening of late is that we've been trying to hire this new AI team, right? And this talent is so hard to kind of get right now because AI is really like the tech talent is any which way is quite limited, and AI is on top of that growing like anything. So I wanted to take a moment to share how we are going about this project and what is it that we have accomplished so far. I wanted to keep you posted about that. So I am really happy to share that we finally managed to hire 10
So I'll
10
pause you here, Richa. If it's
Yeah.
about sharing an update on the AI, why don't we do that in the meeting? Because I'm anyway going to call for a meeting to understand the progress.
Yeah.
Maybe you can then at that time share that, because I'm sure the others in the room also would like to know how well the team has done. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you
absolutely.
asked me that about something that you did, that there was something around you wanting something from me. So I thought I should quickly make that time. Otherwise, we'll catch up. I'll anyway set up that meeting separately. Did you need something from me?
Yeah, so I think I really thank you so much, Selva, for this time, and I really appreciate it. And of course, I think that's a great idea. We'll share it with the larger forum as well. But I just wanted a couple of quick minutes here so that I can let you know what we have accomplished. And I also wanted to let you know what are some of the things that the team has been doing incredibly. And it would be really good for you to also acknowledge the whole team to keep the momentum going, and we're able to deliver more of that in future. Because as you know, this has been a project we've been working on the last 6 months, and all the challenges you're already aware of that we have faced: talent crunch, salaries not matching, but we've been able to overcome each and every one of that talent. And the most important part is, like, we've been having so many offer dropouts, but just keeping the team's morale high. I wanted to take a moment to tell you that what are some of the things that I have used to coach my team to keep on going towards the target. And I've really used techniques from NLP to coach my team. I've really kept on encouraging them to make efforts. I've had daily huddles out over and above our team catch-up calls, so that everyone is aware and everyone is able to voice out their challenges. We have used some best practices from all of us. Also organized a couple of trainings. So I wanted to let you know that this is all what we have done. And because of all the good work, we have finally accomplished this big target of having 10 people, 10 resources on board. And also the business is really appreciating this because, we've been struggling with the talent, and now we can deploy them on the projects and earn a lot of revenue. So I'm feeling very, very accomplished and proud that finally we've been able to do that. So I really wanted
Fantastic.
to share with you.
Good, Richa. Send me those names and then we can do that. Yeah. All right. Good. Yeah. Catch you soon. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richa. Others can come on video. Well, this was quite a twist to the story that you did it quite an impromptu. How did it feel, Richa? Let's start with you.
It felt like you're not acknowledging me in the end. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, you have done something and you are very happy about it, but I'm like, oh, like, blah.
Yeah, because you know why? Yeah, maybe I'll talk about it later. But let's hear from others. What did you observe?
So one thing I observed is, Richa, you kept saying we, and like we have accomplished, and whenever there is a we, then that means the larger forum has to be involved when you're talking about the accomplishments. So that's what I felt like. You could have focused more on talking about exactly what you have done rather than the whole team has achieved. And that way manager could have been more interested in listening about it, and you could have kept it more engaged. But yeah,
Thank you,
that's what I thought. And
thank you. Any other quick one or two observations, and we can maybe take another role play, the one that we really look for.
Yeah,
So
felt that it was more of a team approach, not really giving credits to her work. She was just pulling the team. I think the whole point of this conversation was to bring out what is that unique thing you want to be recognized. But it all got dissolved into we.
Yes. Just take it in your stride, Richa, okay?
Yeah,
Anything else?
so Selva,
Yeah.
I think as a manager, your body language was absolutely not welcoming. And I think that should have been brought to notice by Richa with a challenge that Selva, I think you are in a rush, and I don't think this would be a right time for us to have this conversation. Rather, we should connect later when you really have the time and the bandwidth for us to have a deeper conversation. So I think calling these out and what we are noticing is much better than having a very rushed conversation, because ultimately it's about our accomplishments, and they deserve more time than just few minutes that the manager has on hands. And call it out. I think that gives them also a jolt that probably they are not okay with either the body language or the time that you are showing, which is not very respectful of Richa's contribution in this case. And I think one more thing, and because it was a stage show, I probably think Richa didn't have that. Otherwise, I'm sure she would kind of present all of the. So she said instead of saying that, probably that would be more like it. But I wouldn't like to have a conversation when the manager is in a route and tell the manager that I don't think this is the right time.
Yeah. Khushbu, you had something.
Yeah, as an observation, I believe the context of the meeting to begin with was not set, right? The expectation that the manager came in with and the agenda Richa had in mind, right? At least the conversation on track. So yeah, that's
cool. Also, good job, Richa. Thank you for volunteering. It really helps to put yourself out there. So there is a lot of practice that we do. The context in this was that, the manager is not recognizing the work that I'm doing, and I'm going for a meeting asking for that recognition. It's a very one-to-one individual recognition ask meeting. Therefore, my role was to let me update the good work that the team has given, in which there is nothing for you to ask me particularly. It's more an information meeting. Yeah? Yeah, cool. But thank you for volunteering. I think that really gave us a good start. We may have just a tiny mini opportunity for one more role play with this context. Anyone willing up?
So one question I want to ask Selva. So like when you are sending an invite for this kind of a meeting, do you categorically outline that this is a recognition meeting? I don't think so.
Yes. Yes. So the message is not camouflaged as some update information. See, you saw how the manager responded, right?
Yeah. So you'll directly write it's a recognition meeting.
No, I'm not saying you have to write directly.
What
Look at
will
what
be
the
the
context
agenda
looks for
according to you? What should be the agenda written on an email, and what should be the context which should have been outlined at the beginning?
What do you guys say? I may have a point of view, but let's see what others say. If you have to call for this meeting, how will you prompt the manager? Any responses to Richa's question?
Yeah, so since I brought in the point, and I would like to use the context of in this workshop, I would break it down that I want to specifically talk about the phase 1 accomplishment of the project, which which sort of went unnoticed in the whole process. Second, the key impediments that I came across and what I have seen through, right? So once I'm discussing this, I think it automatically comes to the recognition and appreciation section.
Maybe
Somebody else had a point of view? Hemlata, yeah.
Yeah, I would name it the subject as a performance review, and maybe in the agenda I'll put 1 or 2 points which I want to discuss. The other way, if I'm going in a a little bit of a disappointed mode, I would say one-on-one connect. Need attention. Yeah.
Does that help, Richa?
Yeah, definitely.
I would actually even add one step further and say that there's something that I've been thinking of sharing with you. I feel slightly demotivated. I feel slightly confused. I feel slightly unsure about something that I've done well, but it seems like it's not gone noticed. I just want to discuss with you to take your perspectives. Yeah, something which is not very blame oriented, but something neutral, but still the manager gets that there is something that she feels lagging right now. She feels lack of something there and she wants my perspectives. Then the person will very directly come and check in on, okay, what is it that tell me about it, rather than a general, oh, I want to update. Or even, even Hemlata, to respond to you, the whole performance review is a very big topic, right? And it's usually the managers take a lot of heat on it to say, oh, I have to come and review your performance, right? So you'll not give him the opportunity to talk or give him ways to escape into some other big topic that nobody really has control on. If it's really you're going to keep it part of the performance review, then you have to really factor in time and all of that, because it's more than one achievement, right? But if it's about asking for recognition, then make it asking for recognition. If it's not culturally norm-wise, not very clearly acceptable, say I am asking for, you can't put it in a meeting invite the title asking for recognition, right? But you can say that, you can give in a context. One-on-one connect is a great diplomatic way of starting. But before that, you should have timed your manager, what is the one-on-one connect going to be about? You can keep it many short ones. So therefore, it can't be that you've never seen the manager for over 6 months and suddenly you're saying one-on-one connect.
Yeah.
Then it may not work as easily. The more frequent it is, the more connected you are, the more heads up you're able to give before the meeting. It just helps you to have a very constructive conversation. And not a, oh no, that's the, I recognize, we recognize, oh, you're very needy. Yeah. You don't want any of those conversations to come in, right? Because you don't want to handle blames and judgments there. You really want to share your point of view of how you felt and see how that lands with your manager. Am I making sense so far?
So Selva, what I'm taking back from what we've discussed is like, it's not appropriate to write performance management as a, like a context setting, because I'm still not very clear about what exactly should be the context setting to be done before the meeting, to call the manager with an intention to kind of that we are moving towards this direction, right? And I think what Khushbu had mentioned about phase 1 project accomplishments, right? So I think what I used to do was personally back in the day was I used to have I used to not name it like a I used to just put an invite as a one-on-one, not having like a specific agenda, one-on-one about, my whole discussion or, about my career development. That was, I think, was very well received. This was actually very last minute for me. Like I
sure.
the meeting very last minute. So this is what I honestly felt that could be something which I would recommend everyone, that it is about my career development that I want to talk to you about. So I think then the manager has primed up mentally that, okay, she's going to talk about her career development, and then she's going to, talk about that. And then, of course, it has to be completely focused on yourself. And yeah, I mean, it was very much impromptu. So I actually, I did not come up with a good story, but yeah, it has to
Don't
be
worry. Don't worry. Any good example is a good example. Don't worry. This is one thing that I would strongly urge women to not do it.
Yeah.
You've put your hand up, so pat your back for that, Richa. Right? Many of us didn't do that, right? You did it. So therefore, you did whatever you could.
Thank you for recognizing me finally, Selva.
I'm still not your manager. Got it. Okay, guys. So we are at 10 minutes away from closing the session. There is still one last thing that I'd like you to just take away as well. That now that you have a sense of how all this comes, right? From prioritizing your achievements, making a communication plan, looking at a larger picture, I'd like you to think about one concrete big action, big or small, that you will do to step outside of your comfort zone or try something new in the next 1 month or so in the realm of asking for recognition. Yeah, something that is doable for you, something that you will try that you've not tried before, something that you can put down as action item for yourself and commit to yourself that, I will try this on this particular achievement and see how that goes. Yeah, that's because I feel that every small step helps in that whole assimilation process. Firstly, preparing and then practicing and then saying, what else could I have done? What else can I do here? New that I have not done to try this. Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Now, the last piece is I'd like you guys to now share what is it that you are gaining out of this workshop. Because many of us, Richa, shared very specific set of achievements that you're working on. I'd like to get some responses on what is it that they're able to gather from this workshop towards that goal. And we had two people who we could not accommodate that time, Archana and another person, I forget the name. Would you want to start now? Archana?
Sure. So actually, I wanted to share about my recent experience where actually my manager had promised me about promotion, but my skip level manager eventually didn't approve of the promotion, saying some reasons. Even though my manager tried, it didn't happen. But I used to have a constant conversation with him, but he always used to say, "You're doing good," never giving me any hint of he's going to deny me the promotion this cycle. So that was a bit of a shock for me, and it was a bit of a disheartening for me. But I never took that courage to confront him and talk to him directly. Like you could have told me like what I should have worked on or something like that. So that I kept on thinking, pushing it, procrastinating it on that, saying, I'll probably walk my foot out, and once I have my probably I'll talk to him directly when I want to resign from the company or the team, and then we'll say, we'll ask about it. But before that, I kept on blaming myself for probably not being good or something like that. So I do want to really work on my confidence levels and being able to recognize my work, and then also be confident about handling the bigger responsibilities as well. Yeah.
Sure.
So hope that fits in. Yeah.
Sure. I hope it helped you. This workshop helped you answer some of those questions.
I mean, I guess I still have to work on myself and do some kind of a self introspection, but this definitely gave me that push. And it's really nice to hear from other women on what we're all going through, and yeah, to get a pat like you're not alone in this, and motivate myself.
Sure. Thank you, Archana. Any others would like to share or ask a question or share a thought for others?
Selva, I would maybe like to just note a few takeaways that I'm taking from here. I think in the last video, And even the exercise, how to break down the different parts of the conversation. You know, we can probably direct it towards recognition by not directly asking for it, but ourselves recognizing other people who might have contributed to something of that order. So I took those clues in terms of the questions that we did in the workshop. But I'm and why I didn't jumpstart on the opportunity to have the dialogue was I was still dumbfounded on how to even present the actual appreciation seeking to the manager, right? Because I have done it in the past and failed, so I didn't know how to do it differently. And so that question I did not get answered, but I do have some tips and tricks that I can try on, and especially noting down your achievements then and there, or publishing it to the team so that it doesn't go unnoticed. I think that is a big tip that I'm taking away from here.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can take a stab at it, and if there are other responses, very welcome to that as well, Khushbu. Is that in psychology, there is this concept of strokes. I don't know if others are familiar with this. Strokes is basically some sort of a feedback, positive or negative, right? And we are tuned in certain ways to invite certain kinds of strokes all our lives. And it's much harder to seek positive, or even when it is given, to publicly acknowledge and accept it. For a long time, I had a lot of struggle in asking for appreciation, just the way you mentioned, right? I would work day and hard and then do something wonderful at work. I know that I've done excellent, right? But I would go to the manager and ask, tell me what I could improve. Tell me what did everybody were attentive, or that person was not attentive, right? I mean, look at the ways I'm beginning a conversation. There are 20 people, 20 senior stakeholders. One person did not, according to me, pay attention. I don't even know whether he did not. But that person did not pay attention, right? Tell me what else I could have done. Look at the vibes that I was sharing with the managers, right? After a lot of hard wiring, now I ask, like even now, I'm going to finish the conversation with the session by asking, what did you like about my workshop today? Period. You have no option but to tell me what you like, right? So you can say, what is it that you saw in my work? Or what did you like about my work? Or
So Selva, what is the first question? I mean, what is the order? Are you asking that what could I have done differently first, and then followed by that what did you like?
No, I wouldn't even get to what did you like about it. I would just say, I'd say, what is the improvement that I can make? What can I do differently? I would say, things like that, hoping secretly that I will ask this, but he will tell me something nice. Yeah. Oh, no, that is, no, I'm not, I didn't do anything. My team did it. Or, oh, that's not big, oh, your support without that. But he wouldn't have even seen my presentation. This is how I was to, right? No, I wouldn't have done this without your support. That's the first and last, I would say. But now I restrict on being really genuine on what I'm really saying. I mean that. I don't have to give false compliment, but I also don't have to make him big to make me small, right? So that it's kind of fishing. It's kind of a drama triangle, what we call in psychology, very unknowingly, right? We play that. So one way to ask for appreciation is to say, hey, I'm looking for appreciation. It may feel uncomfortable beginning, but at least your ask is very clear in the other person, right? So if your ask itself is very unclear, but you're blaming the other person for not appreciating you, how is that fair?
You are right, Selva. I think definitely putting it out there that you are looking for the positives in the work you've done. I often have received open-ended comments like, oh, you did well. Oh, it went all nice. It was a smooth execution. Or, this project went smooth, not many hiccups, right? But we don't know if that is good enough, right? Or if it is just meant to escape that question rather than to give that objective appreciation on what you did differently, what was not, what was the beyond expectation part, right? I mean, being senior people, we understand that when it is a part of our job profile and when it is above and beyond, right? But when you get these open-ended appreciation answers, you tend to sort of step back in asking
And
the
again, I'm
question.
saying don't leave that. If it's open-ended, you can say that, thank you for noticing that. What part of it did you like the most? What specifically did you notice there? Or what can you
Okay,
tell me that I can repeat even next time?
got it. Yeah.
To push for it till you get something actionable. So in fact, you're helping the other person to also think actionable, right? You have to help others to help you.
Got it.
And not judge based on the first attempt, that uncomfortable attempt. Then probably
Right. Got it. Thanks.
yeah, cool. So maybe I will then use this opportunity to invite appreciation for myself from you for this workshop, because we're almost about to end the workshop. What did you like about today's workshop? Specifically, what did you like? Let's see if we can practice that.
It was a
I
great
really,
session.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead. No,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, it was a great session, Selva. I really liked the role-playing parts. I could see myself in Ritu's place and thought back to the conversations I had. And I really liked the tip about that someone brought up, that if someone seems rushed, schedule the conversation for later. I really loved how interactive it was. So thanks a lot for that.
Most welcome. Yes, Nivedika.
The first thing that I noticed and that I really liked, how you respected everyone's time and how you were sticking your and how you could, the sessions are generally, you don't know in which direction it can go, but still you were able to give it a shape and bring it to a conclusion within that time. So that is a skill to learn that I really liked.
Thank you. We are all going to answer this, by the way. Huh?
Maybe I'll go next. Selva, I think you had a great energy throughout, and that smiling face, there was not even a single dull moment. So that energy was good. And the whole workshop was well structured. You knew what you wanted to do, and also you had a lot of activities which engaged us. It's not like, usually sometimes when we say workshop training, at least more than 50% will go in either sleeping or not going above the head. But here you kept interviewing and giving those activities to trigger our mind so that we are in touch with the subject and we are walking through you throughout so that's what I liked about the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Hemu.
If I may add to whatever people have told earlier, I would say it's the moment of reflection. The questions that you asked for us to reflect upon. To be very honest, it's very difficult to put everything into writing in such a short time. But you realize how much effort it takes for you to prepare, then to go face that person in in real time. So you go very well prepared. It's like I am ready for this war. I am ready to take this head on, kind of. So it takes a lot of effort and preparation, honestly. So only when you start to list them down, you realize, oh my God, why am I not able to recollect, And I feel we also have to document it from time to time, like how you had shown us some tips and tricks. So we should also keep a tab of what we do on a daily basis and probably do an update on a weekly basis, because, one thing that I noticed here in common among everybody when they spoke is that when they have to have the discussion on the D-Day, it becomes a little difficult, mainly because either they have skipped the interim part of having that discussion with the respective person from time to time, or not have updated that, or put that into writing or documentation at that point of time. So I just realized it's very important to put that into practice, although it's very difficult. And sometimes, especially when you're loaded with work, you feel this is...
No, it's not difficult at all. I would beg to differ. If you are the most important person for yourself. How come that the whole
I
world
do
is
agree,
busy?
but sometimes we tend to brush it aside, this particular aspect amidst all the other things that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy, but it's not impossible as well. It's about your tuning. Send your notes. Send a self note to yourself at the end of the day. What did you like about what you worked today? Just 2 lines. Keep doing that. 1 week, you have so much content to review. Send yourself a note. Send yourself an email. 1 line, 2 line. I'm super super happy I did this today. Forget about others, right? And in 7 days, you did 2 things, 14 items you will have. Of that, at least one is worthy enough for you to bring it in public. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it's not. It's very easy. Just small habits makes for big mountains. All right. With that, I'll close for today. It was wonderful, wonderful interacting with all of you. I'm available on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. I'd love to work with you guys and really partner in making your story a success story. A success story has to be made successful in public. So keep at it, guys. Good job already. Thank you for joining today. Have a lovely
I
weekend.
would just like to add, Selva, if everyone can turn on their cameras, we would love to take a quick picture.
Sure.
Before you guys drop, please, it would be lovely to see your faces. Surya, Sandhya,
And please
Rosaline.
share and
Just
respond
excuse me,
on
sorry,
social
Mansi,
media as well.
I am unable to do that, but yes, I'm so happy to see everyone there. But and Selva, you did go round robin. I'm so glad because that has set a big example for all of us. I'm sure, for us to take away that how important it is to ask for that one thing that you liked about it. And I think that's such a flexible question which could come and fit into any situation and will always land us with some response, good, bad, ugly. That doesn't matter. I mean,
keep trying.
Some response
We'll get
is
it.
a good response. Yes, thank you.
Welcome, Surya. Yes, Mansi, all with you.
Sandhya, could you turn on your camera if that's okay? All right, let's just take the picture. All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese. All right, done. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Selva, for taking this session for us. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Vasavi, do you want to add?
Thanks a lot, Selva, and thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in. And I hope you have a lot of takeaways and actionables to work on, from the session. And let's hope we'll all be able to get better at this day by day.
Thank you, guys. See you then. Bye-bye. See you in the next workshop someday.
Bye-bye.
One question, Vasavi and Mansi. Do we get to see that video because it was breaking up for me in between? So is there any
Would you like
possibility?
to pause recording, Vasavi?
Yeah. You are on mute, Vasavi.
I'm so sorry. So we can share the links on WhatsApp for your reference after the session.
Yeah, because
so
it was
you
breaking
can.
up for me in between. That will be very helpful.
We'll do that. Yes.
All right. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Surya. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you, Surya. You can pause the recording, Vasavi.